welcome to Hong Kong Blu-rays. Today is a little bit of sadness in this video for us because just this week we've lost one of our great heroes, Jimmy Wang Yu. So today we're going to have a little talk about him and look at two of his seminal classic movies. That would be The Chinese Boxer for the Shaw Brothers and The One Armed Boxer for Golden Harvest. Welcome to HAB. It's great to have you with us. I'm Leon.
I'm Shaz.
So, Jimmy Wang Yu, what an icon of Hong Kong cinema. Probably Hong Kong's first true superstar. They called him the Steve McQueen of Hong Kong. And, quite rightly so in my mind. I grew up from a very young age watching Jimmy Wang Yu movies. My older brothers, they'd been to the cinema to see films like, One Armed Boxer, Chinese Boxer, films like that. They were, big at the cinema in the 70s, and when rental video became a thing, Betamax, even though I was like way too young, because I love stuff like Monkey Magic and The Water Margin, I would be allowed to watch these films. And if I'm a little bit honest, some of the violence in them to me back then was kind of horrific, but also so cool, I thought Wang Yu was like phenomenal, this was in the days before I was even aware who Jackie Chan was. And it's with a heavy heart, that we say goodbye to Jimmy. He's, whatever else you can say, he's certainly been so full of colour in his time on the screen and outside the screen. What a career, what a legend, from water polo champion to doing the groundbreaking film The One Armed Swordsman, where he literally changed the face of Hong Kong cinema by bringing in bloodshed, which had not really been done before. So his collaboration with Chang Cheh on that film, fantastic. And with Return of the One Armed Swordsman, and obviously there was a theme going on. Jimmy went on to do so many like one-armed films. I think it was a little similar to like how Gordon Liu had a shaved head, and that's how the audience accepted him. And the audience preferred it when Jimmy was on screen with one arm, maybe, even though he did a multitude of films with both arms. And I've loved him throughout his career, from even like Jackie Chan films that he's been in, or rather Jackie Chan was in films with Jimmy Wang Yu as a favour, because Jimmy helped out Jackie when he was in trouble with the triads, because he wanted to get away from the contract with Lower Way, and Jimmy Wang Yu helped him out. So in return for that favour, Jackie was in Fantasy Mission Force with Jimmy, even though Jimmy was villain, and that was his film. And a little bit later on he did Island of Fire. And also there was that earlier Kung Fu movie, which is where they built a relationship, which was one of Jimmy's, called The Killer Meteors. Now I haven't seen that for a long time, but word has it that 88 Films are putting this out quite soon, so I'll be looking forward to getting that one and reliving that. But again, all the other stuff he's done, like The Water Margin, fantastic, epic. Sorry, not The Water Margin, Beach of the War Gods, absolutely epic. And I just love that film so much. The great big fights with Japanese on the beach, such an epic scale. There's films like A Man Called Tiger, where the ferocity. And I believe that film was one that Bruce Lee turned down.
Oh, right.
And he had a little rivalry with Bruce Lee. The two of them like massive superstars, and a lot of egos on both sides there. There's so many stories about Jimmy and his ego. Like apparently he got into a fight with Oliver Reed when they were filming a a film that got shut down for about 6 or 9 days production. I'm not
Oh,
sure,
right,
but yeah, Ollie was drunk and Jimmy got dragged off him apparently. So who knows how that would have turned out. And of course, when he went over to Australia and he did the film, he covered The Man from Hong Kong. There was, a lot of trouble on set there, but yeah, like I say, colourful character. We love him a lot, and you were quite taken with him when I first put on like One Armed Swordsman for you, and films after that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely got some charm. So today we're just going to have a little look at two of his biggest classics ever, and we will start with the Golden Harvest classic, The One-Armed Boxer from 1971. So this one's always been a favourite of mine. I absolutely adore this film. On repeat viewing for you, this time on Blu-ray. What do you think? What do you think of Jimmy in this one and the film as a whole?
Well, all I'd say is Jimmy had attitude in this one. Yeah, I thought he was brilliant in this. I really liked his sort of acting when he was putting his hand in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think that showed a lot of like character and the struggle, the pain. You really felt he was going through that.
Is that when he's like training up his one arm to kill all the nerves?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that bit. Yeah, I thought that was great, and I just liked all the different elements, like when he was sort of levitating up from the ground, sort of fantastical imagery. Yeah,
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
This story is pretty simplistic. It's basically one school hates another school, people get killed, master gets killed, and like main student has to train up and get revenge. The difference in this one is Jimmy has like one arm like locked up in the fight.
Yeah.
Hence why we get to that scene, which, as you said, acted so brilliantly by Jimmy. You really see every expression is kind of like it's really portrayed well, isn't it?
I thought so, and I liked that then you get like another sort of training montage, like you get in so many films, of how he then has to prepare himself for taking on these baddies.
You love that, don't you? And there was quite a few villains in this one. There was like I think you remarked to me, it's a bit like a video game where you pass one boss, you have to work your way through the next boss, and then the next boss, and so on and so forth. There was quite a few colourful characters in this one. Yeah,
there was. And I liked because there were some llamas, wasn't there? And he was finding it really difficult to overcome them. Well, overcome all of them to start with. And there was a doctor helping him out, who told him about the way to get his hand prepared to take everybody on. And there was like a pressure point diagram, and I just love the pressure points. And he was pointing out the specific place to hit the llamas, which would defeat them.
About an inch in from the chest.
But I just really like that. All these little elements just make the story that bit more interesting, I find.
And for me, what stands out about the fights in this is the aggression. People call these ones brawlers, and I guess it's not technical to Kung Fu, but I like that brawling aspect to it.
You called it Bashafu.
Yeah,
the other night when we watched it.
Well, it kind of is, isn't it, Bashafu? But I do love it because I always feel like Jimmy 110% means it. I feel like he wants to kill everybody on the set. Like, you're not showing my money. This is my film. I'm gonna annihilate you all. He really sells it to me. And in this, the sound effects, they're like every time.
You like those.
I love that. It really gets me into it so much more. And I find this a hard film to fault. Even down to the music was great, wasn't it?
Yes.
And in this version, I hadn't seen it before, but there was like music from Shaft.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Fudged in at the beginning. I thought, wow, that's cool. We got that 70s jive going on. So.
Yeah, it really suited the film actually. It didn't feel, like it was from a different type of film or anything. It really felt like it represented
Yeah, I know,
like
it's
the
great.
storyline and everything.
And the funny thing for me now is when I was young and I used to show the VHS of this to friends, I used to be embarrassed by some of the scenes in it, like where Jimmy hops up on one finger and like runs
Oh
on the one
yes,
finger.
yes.
Now those bits that I was embarrassed at, they're my favourite bits. I love them. I
Yeah.
think that's genius.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing it, remastered the way it is, I think it looks $1 million. I think it looks really good, really well filmed.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so are we gonna wrap this one up?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, this one's a solid 9 out of 10.
8.5 for me.
Right, and the package from Eureka, it's a really nice one. We got some more artwork from Darren Wheeling. There's a poster in this, we can't show you at the minute because we have this one framed. And yeah, there's some audio commentaries by Frank Jang, which is, practical information. Everybody out there by now is aware of how good Frank Jang is. And the original trailers, the Chinese professional TV spot, which was the American title for this film, and there's a booklet inside as well, which is nice to have. There we go. Booklet, and there's a reversible sleeve too with some original artwork which is on the poster. So this is a really great addition. If you're Jimmy Wang Yu fans and you haven't got this one, you owe it to yourself. Treat yourself to it. We'll put purchase links in the description below.
Next, we're having a look at the Chinese boxer. What did you think of Jimmy in this one?
Well, this was a year earlier, in 1970, and there's a lot of history of this film with Jimmy being the superstar he was. He wanted to try different things, and of course he was known as the heroic swordsman. That was his image at the shores, and he wanted to break outside of that, and he wanted to direct. So this one, as with the One Armed Boxer, is directed by Jimmy, and I think it's quite clear to see that he was right to do so. He obviously had directing capability and vision that he wanted to put on the screen.
Yes.
And I guess this film, The Chinese Boxer, you could say this is the one where, all the other sort of vengeance kung fu movies came from, probably from The Chinese Boxer. And I do like this one a lot. It's a Shaw Brothers classic. Jimmy's fantastic in this one. And it's more or less the same story as One Armed Boxer, except for Jimmy keeps both arms in this, and he trains up both hands to become lethal weapons, smashing through trees and rocks and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But you've got the addition of the light kung fu where he's running around with lead weights strapped to his legs, and when he takes them off he can soar through the air.
Yeah.
So I like,
great.
yeah, it's fantastic in it. I like the story, the setup, the opposing schools, and then the villainous experts brought in to beat them up, and then Jimmy just surviving like he did in the other one, and then he trains up to take vengeance. Classic setup, everybody knows it. We've all seen it hundreds of times. You guys have probably seen it hundreds of times. But there's standout films, and this is another standout film. And it's really interesting this time because I don't know whether I remembered back in the day. Certainly when VHS days I wouldn't have noticed. But as you watch more and more over the time and you repeat view, then all of a sudden you notice like faces in there. And you're like, did I know Shang Tai turned up in this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Feng Hak Hong?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing Feng Hak Hong in this before.
Probably wouldn't have been clear enough in the VHS days.
Yeah, I certainly don't remember Wang Chung being in there from Delinquent and whatnot. I'm like, gosh, this is really strange, but it's nice to go back to, and plus, also, like you say, the clarity. I might have watched it on DVD, many times and not realised because the clarity wasn't there.
Yeah.
But, going back now and you watch these films, you can spot all these people that and it's like fantastic. I really enjoyed that. What did you think of Jimmy and the lineup of villains in this, and the violence? Of some of the violence stood out to you, didn't it?
Yeah, a lot of eyes being dug in, and not nice. But good fights.
Yeah, it's fairly brutal, isn't it? There's a lot of sprays of blood coming off the face. His eyes are being ripped out left, right, and centre. One of our one of our favourite villains in this too.
Yes, Lole.
He's always good, and he looks quite a bit younger in this as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And there is a bit of an edge in this film. There's also a bit of sexual violence in this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unusual for back then. So maybe he was breaking new ground with that too. I don't know. But it adds a little edge to the story as well. You know, and really shows you how nefarious the villain is in this. Yeah, and there's a beautiful scene where they fight in the snow.
Yeah.
And I really love the way that's filmed.
Yeah.
I do really like that. I think Jimmy's outstanding in this one. The rest of the cast are pretty good too. Some really long fights. There's fights throughout it. Only one tiny criticism is they don't sound as dynamic as in the One Armed Boxer. It sounds a bit more subdued. It still looks really good.
Yeah.
You know, it's really effective, and Jimmy still looks like he means it, like he wants to hurt someone.
Yeah.
Jimmy Tude is still there, and again, more basher food. What more could you ask? You know, Jimmy definitely cemented himself with these films. For me though, this one, can I score it now?
Yeah, sure.
This one for me is an 8 out of 10.
I'm going with 7.5. I didn't feel quite so into this one. I don't really know why either. I can't really explain it, but I preferred the other one.
More colourful, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Let us know. Is this one your favourite, or is One Armed Boxer your favourite? Or are we completely crazy, and do you think we should rate them above 10? Let us know. So, this Chinese box set is released by 88 Films, and you can see the fantastic artwork from Kung Fu Bob O'Brien, and that's on the poster too, so that will be getting framed at some point. It's absolutely beautiful. Nice slipcase, great cover, and it's reversible too, I believe. And I think do we have a booklet inside?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Oh.
It's good. So we have a nice booklet. Always great when you get these extras in there, some nice pictures in there, and a poster too. And this is all the usual quality you'd expect from 88 Films by now. You know, great sound, great picture, great subtitles, just as is the One Armed Boxer with its picture, you know, subtitles and sound as well. Both of these discs, you know, essential pickups for any Jimmy Wang Yu fan. And we're just so chuffed to have these editions in our collection.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'd also like to say, Eureka, 88 Films, you know, how about getting some more Jimmy out there? You know, there's so many good films. You've got The Assassin from Shaw Brothers as well, which is a really good one, really bloody film. I like that one a lot. You've got Golden Swallow, which is the sequel to Come Drink With Me, so that would be a really good one too. I'm not going to be silly and ask for things like Tiger Boy, which nobody's ever seen, lost classic. It'd be nice if somebody could, you know, mention it on some extras, give us a bit of detail, maybe a little bit of history about it. There's what's everybody else's favourite Jimmy Wang Yu films? What have you seen out there that you would like to see restored, like Blood of the Dragon, things like that? You know, which Jimmy Wang Yu films did you grow up watching, or do you want to see that you've never seen? You know, leave some comments below or email us at hongkongblu-rays@gmail.com. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that miss him. I mean, we'll miss him, or you know, I'm sure the other guys with us, you know, in the ACC, they're going to miss him too, because you know, he's done some fantastic work, even up to recently, like starring in more recent times, Dragon or Wuxia with Donnie Yen, which I believe in that film, even at the age he was, Jimmy insisted on doing all of these arm stunts and fight scenes, which you know, it's fantastic. It might have drove the rest of the crew like crazy, because you know, it would have been quicker without, but you know, game on to him.
Though.
Yeah,
to be authentic.
yeah, he's the man. You know, he was the man. He's the you know, big brother. We hope you enjoyed this little reflection on Jimmy Wang Yu and our look at these two classic films. It was great to have you guys on board, and if you did like, we'd be grateful if you could let us know by giving us a like. That'd be awesome, and hopefully we'll have you with us next time. So remember folks, be true and buy the blue.